Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Bearded E30. I'm your host, the only guy that you've known, Ismail, and this is the E30. So a lot of you guys have been wondering where the car has been. Well, at least people that I meet in person, my comment section is kind of dead. The car is still here. And as you can see, the car is in pieces. It's in shambles. And to make a long story short, I am a college student, as some of you may know. So it's pretty hard for me to keep up with schoolwork and with the project car. And schoolwork always takes a priority because I got to graduate so that I can make money, so I can work on cars, and it's a continuous cycle that just really never ends. But anyways, so let me take you guys along with me. So the E30 is still here, as you can see, alive in the flesh. And when I turn around this camera, it still has the M52 in it, and I got a whole bunch of goodies for it. As you can see, this wiring harness just wasn't working out for me. So that was one of the biggest things that held this build up, was the fact that I did not want to run that wiring harness. It worked when I pulled it off the guy's car. The car worked, you could turn it on, the motor worked, but I did not want to keep that. I plan on doing bigger and better things with this motor, so it's not, I might as well invest the money now so that I can have the reliability later on. So let's go over what I've recently purchased. So, here's what I've purchased. Allow me to take you on an adventure. Number one thing I had to get was a valve cover. That was, basically an essential part. New valve covers are very expensive, but then I discovered eBay valve covers. This, for being on eBay, it's like super good quality. The plastic is nice, the gasket is flexible, it has all the right ridges in all the right places. So I feel pretty confident running this, and worst comes to worst, this is like $120, so it's not a big deal. Another thing, since I'm running M52, I had to get new power steering lines. I spoke to the guys at Chasebays, and they simply just wrote me up an invoice for the new power steering lines, so that I can keep the same power steering reservoir. Another thing that I did was I installed a water pump in my car. I installed a new water pump, but I wasn't too comfortable with that plastic housing, so I got an aluminum one. The water pump pulley was not in good shape, so I ordered a new one as well. This is all stuff, by the way, guys, like when you're building a car, you want to make sure like stuff like that is straight, it's right. You don't want any bad pulleys, because belts will slip off and it'll just cause you a world of pain. Another thing that I'm excited about, which, well, we're more on to that later. I also have this E34 throttle cable. Everybody on the forums says this is great. I'm pretty sure this is a 528i. And everybody that runs this has no complaints in terms of when they do an M52 swap. This is the hose that goes from the brake fluid reservoir to the hydraulic clutch cylinder. So you have a slave cylinder and you have a hydraulic clutch cylinder. This is a slave cylinder. This is what actually pushes the clutch. But what applies that, you can't compress a fluid, but what tries to compress the fluid, that piston, that cylinder, is actually under the pedal assembly. It's under the pedal, the actual clutch pedal. So I'm replacing that too. I have that in the trunk of my car, and that's the hose that goes to the foot pedal assembly. And a lot of you people, those who have good eyes, are probably wondering, why do I have a 2002 brake fluid reservoir. It's simple. This is actually a really cool mod. So as many of you know, when you're doing an M50 swap, an M52 swap, whatever swap you're doing, a M60 swap, either you're gonna, you know, put money down on a pretty expensive brake booster, either the Porsche. Some people say you can run a Volkswagen one. Sometimes they say you can run a 2002 brake booster, or you go brake booster delete. The problem with the smaller brake boosters, the Porsche and such, is you lose pedal feel. That's not something that I wanted. I wanted to either have improved pedal feel or the same pedal feel. And to be honest, on the E30s, I'm not too confident with the pedal feel. It just feels a little too mushy for my taste. So what I discovered, what I found out was you can actually, with some fabrication, this is a very interesting mod, you can run an E90 brake booster. And you can even see like the diameter of this thing is just so much, it's so much more narrow, and instead of it being so wide and fat like the stock ones and just this fat disc, it's actually longer, so it fits in like it fits between the manifold, and it doesn't actually go behind the manifold. Now what I'm going to need to run this, because I'm pretty sure these are M12s, you need M12s to M10 adapters to fit this onto the brake lines for the stock E30. There's another like adapter. When I go to make this video, I will have everything and you guys will see what I'm doing with it. And like I said, this is the hydraulic slave cylinder. Another thing that I got was some liquid moly. I decided to just go all out on oil, 5W40, some Moly Gin liquid moly. The cool stuff about this, I've heard, is that under a UV light, I think the first 1,000 miles or something like that, under UV light, if you put a UV light, it will light up, the oil will light up wherever there's a leak. So it'll see where there's a leak, you put some UV light, but I'm not too worried about leaks, because especially since like this, the the oil filter housing gasket on the bottom, that's all gonna come out. Like that's coming out, that's gonna get replaced, so I'm not really worried about oil leaks. I know that the oil pan gasket is good, so I'm not too worried about leaks. This engine is going to be in decent condition. Other parts that I have on the way, I have a radiator on the way, a radiator fan, and a lot of you guys are probably wondering, yo, quit talking, do some work. I can't. I got hurt a few weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago. Fell off a ladder. Thankfully, I'm fine. It wasn't like, you know, a little two-step ladder. I was about, you know, I don't even remember, man. I was just high up in the air and I fell. Luckily, no discs, no fractures, no breaks, but I did hurt my hand. This is the first day I can actually like move my hand with relatively no pain. My back is still sore. So I can't really bend over in an engine bay today. Like this is the most I've really moved in the past 2-3 weeks since I've fallen. So the thing is, I'm going to work on this car once I feel better. But when I was hurt, I just ordered a bunch of parts. So I was like, screw it, I'm lying down, I'm not doing anything. Now, the creme de la creme, the one part that I'm super excited about. This is what held up the build the most out of everything. This thing right here, my wiring harness. This has been done up. Everything that needs to be cut out has been cut out. All like any burnt wires, anything that was faulty has been replaced. Got a ground cable right there. This is from Castle Performance. I'm not the best wiring person ever. I know how to solder. I can build it. I can make a basic. I can do basic repairs, I can splice in some very basic stuff, but like when it comes to this level of fabrication and wire work, I'm hopeless. So I sent this out to Castle Performance. Another thing that I got back from Castle Performance was an ECU. I decided to go OBD2 on this. I did not want to go OBD1. So I bought an MS41.1 and I sent it out to Castle Performance. I am going to show you now the side of this. So Castle Performance pretty much bangs everything out. They do the EWS delete, they delete whatever, I think the secondary cat, the exhaust valve. So this is exactly, as you can see, I did the M50 tune plus the burble. So I'm gonna have a burble tune on this, which I'm super excited for. That's what I'm excited for the most, is putting that ECU in. I sent my M20 skid plate back to the guys at Red 46, and they put one in for an M52 swap, and they sent it right over to me. The only reason why is because I've never used that skid plate. That skid plate was not installed. I tried selling it. Everybody was lowballing me. I was trying to get what I paid for it without shipping. Everybody was like offering me 80 bucks. So I'm like, bro, I'm going to send it out to them. I'll pay the shipping. And they're actually really cool guys. They worked with me. They're super nice. So that's going to come while I'm away as well. So other than that, this car is pretty much ready. It's almost ready. I mean, like, I just finished my summer classes, so I don't have any more summer classes. So once I come back, I'm going to be banging this car out every day until it's done. I am going to have some help from some friends though, because I can't really work on cars right now. I can't really bend over an engine bay for too long, but hopefully when I come back, I should be feeling better. Another part I forgot to go over, which I found pretty interesting, was this part by chasebays. Can't believe I forgot to go over this. This part by chasebays. This goes from the hydraulic clutch cylinder to the slave cylinder. It replaces the hard line and the soft line. So you're basically replacing all that hard line, which could be corroded and warped or whatever the situation may be, with this nice, you know, wrapped, protected line. So with that in mind, everybody, with that in mind, thank you for tuning in on another episode of Beards and Gears. On the next episode, I will start working on this car. Be patient. There's things that are going to come to this channel. I am going to be posting more often on this channel, and in the future, moving forward, I'm going to fit more episodes throughout the week. At least I'm going to try to post 2-3 times a month. So with that in mind, thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share this video, tell your friends about it. If you guys got any questions on any of the parts I've purchased, shoot me a DM on Instagram. My Instagram should be in the link below. So with that in mind, thank you for tuning in, guys. Stay safe. Like a blazing flare, to stay 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world.